I was going to tell you to time it with the beat. You ruined it. Totally ruined it. It's like Back to the Future.
We got to go back to the future. Speaking of past, present, and future. What's going on?
Hi.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Cast Iron Workouts Podcast.
Welcome back, guys.
All right, I'll slow down.
Coach Darrell. Got Mike again. Yeah.
Someone's got to be here.
Yeah. Rachel's not, so that's cool.
No, Rachel's not.
Yeah. What's up, man? What's going on? What's good?
Feeling good.
Yeah.
Feeling all right today, yeah.
Got a little pump going this morning?
Yeah, I got through the push-ups better than I thought I would, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's all those perfect push-ups, and I guess all those hand release are adding up.
Yeah.
Getting my whole body off the ground.
It's weird, right?
Now just doing a regular push-ups, I'm like, oh, okay. The 25 went no problem. The next
Right. 25
went no problem. All right.
It's weird how like you do stuff and then it gets easier.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy, man. Who would have
I don't know. I mean, I'm not sold yet.
All right, so what else, man? What's going on in life with Mikey right now?
2 for 2 on the accountability Sunday runs that I told you about.
I've seen the post.
Yeah, the second one was extremely painful, I would say. So, because I committed to just the distance, I didn't care if I just walked, but I ran as much as I could. But that normal first mile felt normal. Second mile is a total incline, up a bunch of hills. It was super painful. If it wasn't for the distance or our thing, I would have turned around and went home.
Yeah.
It was that bad. And then I was like, well, let me see if I could just keep going. So then the downhill starts again, and I was able to kind of get moving. But then my feet went numb. Like numb. Felt like I was stepping on sponges and needles were at the bottom. So that wasn't good.
No, that's not.
I got through the run,
It's not normal either, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're working on a solution to that.
So we are going to graduate Mike. He's going to be a big boy. Mike's always, he's been a runner for a long time. I say a runner, he's kind of had spurts where he's run distances and done races and stuff on and off for probably 15 years?
Yeah.
And Mike's always been a guy who runs, and if you're about this, whatever, it's you. He runs in like Nike Frees and like, kind of I don't even know how to put it. Like, not necessarily the best type of running shoe, right? So, I'm forcing Mike to get a pair of Brooks, like true running shoes, and we're gonna see if this makes a difference for him.
I think it will.
I know it will.
Because it's not just me, and here was my evidence this week. My sister got a Peloton.
Yeah.
So, she's excited about it. Billy, I guess he has special shoes that you clamp in, you attach to the bike.
Okay.
And so Billy has some, so same size. So I jump on his, and I do a 30-minute workout. Man, it was good.
Yeah.
And I haven't sweat like that. So the way I got off feeling from that was how I should feel when I run.
When you get some distance.
So there's something else going on. You know what I'm saying? Like that feeling where I used to say where I feel like I'm flying running.
Yeah.
And my stride's open. So it's not just me because I felt great. And I feel great, today. And I could feel the strength from here actually being able to work.
Yeah. On the bike.
Yeah. Like I could tell.
Like, I've been squatting. I've been deadlifting.
Yeah, exactly. And so that felt really good. I was like, all right, so, it's got to be something else because it shouldn't be this painful running.
It shouldn't hurt.
Running shouldn't hurt like that.
And that's something like we tell people all the time. Like running's hard. It should be strenuous. Like don't get me wrong. When you first start running, like shit hurts. Like you're a little banged up. You're sore. Muscles are firing that haven't fired. Whatever. But like if you're a runner, right, or you've been running semi-consistently for a while, like you shouldn't go out on runs and they shouldn't hurt. And I know like you've mentioned that quite a bit over the last few months. Like, yeah, it's kind of painful. And that's where it's like, okay, let's kind of reevaluate everything we're doing here, and let's get you a pair of big boy shoes, right? Get out of those Velcros, okay? And so we're gonna get Mike some. We got Mike some running shoes on the way.
Yeah,
we got him some Brooks on the way. So
I'm excited about that.
Yeah,
it just really is. So I got 9 miles in on that 30-minute on that bike.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then I was something like 36,000 out of 193,000.
Okay,
was the rankings. So it was like 15 percentile or something like that. So it was like pretty cool, you know, and but that made me feel like, okay, my body can do more than what running's letting me do right now, or what I'm giving it. So looking forward to that.
Cool. Yeah. Hopefully, yeah. I mean, it'll help. It's gonna get better.
The other thing that made me feel like, oh shit, at the gym is actually paying off. Went to play baseball with my nephews the other day. You know, we just go out in the field. So, you know, Billy's tossing them the ball, so I go to catch, and I'm in my catcher squat position, and I'm like, oh, I could sit like this forever. I'm like, holy shit. I've never been able to feel like that, you know, where you could just hold that position. I was like, wow, this is weird, because I've never, you know, I don't play baseball, so I had my last memory of it was maybe around high school or just out of high school, and even then, I couldn't squat like that for more than 30 seconds.
Right. Leg strength, man.
So, hey,
crazy, right?
So, hey, thank you.
You know, you're welcome, Mike. You're welcome.
Hey, this guy knows something here.
If you guys are just tuning into this, Mike's finally what are we, 40 episodes deep? Great. Great, Mike. Thanks. Yeah.
How about you? What's going on with your plan?
Everything's cool, man. Everything's good. I got my 20 miles in last week.
Cool.
Tomorrow I'll finish off my run week, and I'll be beyond the 20. So everything's cool in that aspect. If you guys haven't noticed, my voice is probably a little nasally today. My allergies are kicking the crap out of me right now. What else? That's about it, man. Had kind of a whirlwind last weekend. I drove from here to Tucson, Arizona. We packed up my parents' house. When I say packed up, my brother and I and my nephew loaded the U-Haul. My sister did an awesome job, like kind of pre-packing everything in boxes. So we got there on Friday. You know, it was about a 13, 14-hour drive. Saturday morning, woke up, started packing everything, and the plan was, and you know, did a couple dump runs, and the plan was to like stay in Tucson through, get up Sunday morning, drive home. Well, we got done, like we were cranking. We got done by like 12:30. So my brother's like talking to my sister, gets on on a FaceTime with her, and she's like, "So you're gonna try and make El Paso tonight for my brother leaving with the U-Haul, because he was driving it to Texas, which is like a 5-hour drive." And he's like, "Oh yeah, shit, I guess we could." I'm like, "Dude, if you're leaving, I'm leaving. Like, I'm not sitting in an empty house in Tucson, Arizona for 7 hours to wait to go to bed to wake up to drive 14. So I bounced. I took off, got back in the truck, drove from Tucson, took a different route, came up through SoCal, and stayed in Carlsbad, and then drove home Easter Sunday morning. So it's kind of, dude, it's kind of a whirlwind of 3 days. Took me a couple days to kind of recover from that. But, you know, finally I had Rachel actually coach an afternoon class, which she typically doesn't do. Had her coach our afternoon classes one day this week, so I could just kind of chill out and readjust and, you know,
get back.
Yeah, kind of level out a little bit, man. So, but it's good. My folks are in Texas now, and they're close with all of our family, which is good. You know, I hated the fact that they were out in the desert and we didn't have anybody close to them. Yeah. So they're near my oldest brother, his kids, their great grandkids. So it's awesome, man. It's cool. What else is going on? Spring break for Dalton was this past week. So he's been partying, you know, a lot. It's kind of getting him to chill a little bit. It's kind of tough, you know. That kid's a party animal. No, man. So he's been, you know, we've gone to the field. You know, just him and I have been able to work a little bit, play baseball, taking the puppy to the dog park for the first time. So he's fired up on that. He got to walk the dog by himself yesterday, so that's pretty cool. He's pretty pumped on that. Other than that, man, that's about it.
Yeah.
That's about it. So episode's over. See you guys.
Yeah. Can you hand me that water?
Yeah, I can.
It's like talking to me.
Mikey's a little thirsty over here, a little
God.
parched. Yeah, so today, man, we're going to talk a little bit about, you know, working out as you age, right? And how things kind of change as you get a little bit older, and how things need to be modified, and kind of the magic to helping you stay young for as long as possible, right? And kind of the anti-aging, right? Like how can I stop the effects of aging? Well, if you come to the gym here and you actually listen to me talk, I say it all the time. The cure, it's the same way you like help injuries, right? It's you move your body in big ranges of motion. You get blood flow. You move in as many ways as possible and try and increase ranges of motion as much as you can. Right now, I've talked about different types of workouts and movements and what I believe works the best, and resistance training, and all that stuff. But all that stuff aside, it really comes down to, getting yourself to move in full ranges of motion, right? Whether that's with weights or without weights. You could be doing yoga and putting yourself in different positions, and don't take that like literally. If you've never done yoga, don't hop into like some advanced yoga class and pretzel yourself up and be like, he said this would help. Yeah, he told me this would help me, and you just can't walk for 3 weeks. But it's slowly increasing range of motion over time, right? Is how you kind of stay healthy, and increasing blood flow, right, to areas that you normally don't get it. So things like squats to depth, like I always tell you guys, is something that I really recommend people doing every day. Most people don't like to stretch, but if you can sit in the bottom of a squat position, right, with your heels on the ground, whether you're, and I'm talking low in a squat. I'm behind a desk right now, so I can't show you guys, but sitting almost where your butt's touching the floor and you're keeping your heels on the ground and you're kind of pushing your knees apart. So they're
like a catcher?
Yeah, like a catcher. So you're pushing your knees out so they're in line with your feet. And even if you got to hold on to something while you do that, but being in the bottom of that squat position stretches your hips, stretches your back. It stretches so much. And that's a position most people, aren't getting a catcher stance to play with their nephews. They're not getting a catcher stance like me to play catch with Dalton or whatever, or even just doing that as a stretch. People aren't doing it.
Yeah.
Doing that, stretching your hamstrings. Stretching your hamstrings is easy. You stand up, you put your feet together, and you reach for your toes, whether you can touch them or not, right? Stretch your hamstrings. Those muscles up your posterior, up your backside, your hamstrings, your butt, that stuff most people don't get to work or fire, right? So those are the things that, like, especially people that sit a lot, right? You always hear them complain about their back. Mm-hmm. Well, it's like, okay, your back hurts. You're not doing some super strenuous job. You're sitting on your ass all day. Why? Well, the muscles on that backside, your glutes, your hamstrings aren't firing, right? We want those things to fire. We want increased blood flow to those areas. And it's like, these are some simple things everybody can do. You don't have to go hang from a bar, but if you can, grab something and just kind of slowly increase how much weight you're letting down to let your arms hang. Like, that's great for your shoulders.
Feels so good, yeah.
Yeah. And if you've never done that, I don't recommend hopping up and grabbing a bar and putting all your body weight on your arms and shoulders. But getting a hold of something and just kind of slowly lowering just a little bit of your body weight is great. It's fantastic for your shoulders, your upper back. But you think about that, how many people walk around and do stuff like this all day? You're putting your hands above your head. Most people don't.
Right.
And that's why, like, most people, when you get them, or I get them in the gym and I have them start doing like strict presses or push presses, anything overhead, they have the Alex DeMello. Alex, I hope you're listening to this. Alex has a terrible overhead position. He's super tight for his shoulders.
Yeah.
Like, they want to push things up, and hopefully you guys are watching this. Their hands don't really go above them. They kind of go out, almost like a high incline press, and they lean back, right? Because they can't.
To make up for that?
Yeah, to make up for it. No, it's up above me if I'm doing this, right? And, they're leaning back real far, and they're pushing it kind of over their chest instead of up above their shoulders. So increasing those ranges of motion are huge. Getting blood flow to those areas that you normally don't get are huge. Even like, I talk about push, pull, squat, deadlift, pick things up. Even things where, like, if you have a band at home, like a band with decent tension, loop it over something, you grab it with both hands and you pull it to your face. And as you do that, you kind of separate it and bring your shoulder blades together. Increasing that blood flow to your upper back is fantastic. Most people, like, you think about most people, like, here, right? Yeah. So you're here, like put your hands out in front of you, Mike. So pull towards your face and then separate your hands and squeeze here. And you should feel all this, right? So when people do that, you're increasing blood flow to areas that normally don't get blood flow, at least for the majority of people. If you're coming to the gym here, you're doing workouts and you're doing rows and things like that. Yeah, they're getting them on those days that you do them, but I'm talking about like everyday stuff.
Yeah.
Right? People can do. You know, a simple one, we talked about it on the last episode where I got a little angry, is go for a walk.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Things like that, like just movement, getting blood flow, walking, moving. Like you don't have to go out and run. If you can, fantastic, and you want to, fantastic, but go walk. You're burning calories, you're helping your digestion, you're getting blood flow. Like move your body. It's such a huge thing, you know, and it's everything that I'm saying. How simple does all this sound?
Simple.
Right. And how many people actually do this stuff every day?
Most do not.
Right. And that's what I'm getting at is, you know, everybody's always looking for that magic. Everybody's looking for a way not to age, right? And they're looking for a way to stay youthful and young.
Secret drink.
Yeah, right?
You know,
and this is it. This is truly it. You know, like, you know, we've talked about like what I think it takes to stay strong, fit, and healthy. You lift something, you pick something up, you set it down, you move weight, a decent amount of weight for you that's relative to you. Right? You move your body, get your body to move in increased ranges of motion. You get blood flow, you walk, and you eat well. Like, that's it. That is it, man. Like, that's the magic formula. But putting all that together, all the stuff that I've said, for so many people, it's so hard. Right? Because it takes a little bit of time and a little bit of thought of like, okay, when am I going to get my 3 walks a day in? You know, the 3 10-minute walks, like that's something like I throw out to everybody all the time, right? And it's like the hardest freaking thing in the world for people to do. I'm like, dude, like go for a 10-minute walk 3 times a day after you eat. And it's one of those things like everybody's like, oh yeah, it's simple. And then I'll ask people, hey, how are you doing with those walks? Oh, I did 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guys.
I mean, think about it. It's really 2 5-minute walks, meaning like 1 10-minute walk. You know, you walk one direction, 5 minutes, turn around,
5
and go
out,
home.
5 back.
Turn around and go home.
Yeah. It's not that hard. And I mean, you know, with all the COVID stuff going on, we don't go out to eat, but even on times prior to COVID, we would go get food, right? We would go out and eat. And even if we were with other people, I'd be like, all right, I'm done eating. I'm going to go for a walk.
Yeah.
And like, because I know like we had dinner one night with my brother and his family. This is like before everything got shut down. And we finished. I said, all right, I'm going to go walk. They're like, what? Yeah, I'm going to go walk. You know, so we finished, and I literally went 5 minutes down the street, turned around, and came back for 5 minutes. Just because I know it makes me feel so much better, right? Like I'm moving. It helps with my digestion. You know, it's good for you.
Well, yeah, you know, we went out to eat yesterday, and so the dish I got came with brown rice.
Uh-huh.
I was like, all right, well, it's brown rice. You know, I'll do it. You know, I haven't been eating like a lot of starchy stuff. And, man, I felt, you know,
little bloat.
I felt it, yeah, you know.
Bloat,
and I was like, oh, man, did I, you know, I feel like kind of upset at myself. Like, man, did I just mess myself up or whatever? So the car's like, whatever, down the street. I'm like, well, let's just walk down the strip, you know. That's what I kind of had had you in my head kind of. And there's like a bunch of shops that we're looking at too, you know, so we get some. But yeah, it ended up being like a 5-10 minute extra walking afterwards. And then this morning though, felt pretty good.
Yeah.
You know,
it makes a world of difference. And like I said, it's the easiest thing that people can do that they don't do. Right. And like I was saying, you know, it's something like your walks, something like stretching. And I'm not talking about like a full blown yoga session. I'm talking about for 5 minutes before you go to bed, 3 minutes before you go to bed. Hit that squat, stretch your hamstrings, stretch your shoulders a little bit, and call it a night. And you'll probably sleep a little bit better too, right? You know, you want to take it one step further, do like Samson stretches or even standing Samson stretches where you're stretching like through your hip and like, you know, your psoas muscle.
do it on the table right here.
Yeah. That would go WWF style. That thing would just collapse. But yeah, you know, stretching those areas is huge. It's huge. I mean, if you want to, there's so many different things and you have so many different ways out there to, if you want to work on stretching, I can go on YouTube right now, search 5-minute yoga, and probably find 100,000 videos, right, of quick stretches that you could do to help you increase your flexibility and range of motion. That stuff's great. That stuff is great.
I do that when I can't sleep.
Yeah.
If I wake up in the middle of the night and it's one of those things where you're a little more awake, where you're not just going to put your head back down.
Yeah.
I'll get up, I'll walk, to the living room and lay down, and like I crack my back a lot. So I'll lay all the way flat and just roll up.
Yep.
And then stand up and, touch my toes. And usually that's it.
Yeah.
Go back to bed and I'm out.
Yeah, it's funny, man. There's certain things that will help you with sleep, right? And I by nature am a bad sleeper, and I try and do everything right to help me sleep. And I know when I haven't done something, one of those steps to help me sleep, right? I know I need to cut my eating off at a certain point. I know that like going to bed hungry, I'm not going to sleep. Like I have to have that last meal dialed in perfect.
Yeah.
I know, over time that like I don't eat a lot of carbohydrates, but backloading my carbs to later in the day, just a little bit of carbohydrate in my last meal helps me sleep a little bit better. I know that stretching before I go to bed for like literally, I'm talking 3 to 5 minutes. I don't spend a ton of time. Like I stretch my hamstrings, I hold that deep squat, do a few crossover stretches, shoulder stretches, and I'm out. Right? Doing that stuff makes a huge improvement. Focusing on my breathing is huge when I'm trying to fall asleep, right? Doing like slow inhales through the nose, hold it for 4 seconds, and then try and do an 8-second exhale through your nose, and doing that for like a couple of minutes will just put me in a relaxed state, right? Little things like that, boom, put me to sleep, right? But it's all those little things that add up, and that makes you sleep better.
Yeah.
You feel better. You rest better. You recover better. You get hormones balanced out. Holy crap, I feel good all of a sudden. I'm not having energy crashes through the day. I don't feel like a bag of shit during the day. I'm recovering. I'm doing, it's like, and it's little things like that that are that magic sauce that people are looking for, but they don't want to accept that. Again, they want, like you said, that magic drink.
Yeah.
They want that, like, oh no, I want the pill. I want that magic drink. I want that. Well, what's the special food?
Or how much can I just buy it?
Yeah.
What is it?
And this is the one I get all the time. Like when we get into the nutrition side of things, right? People are like, well, what's that one food I should be eating? All of it.
Yeah.
Not all of it, but like, all the good stuff.
Right.
It all comes together to help complete the cycle. Yeah, the whole real food, right? You guys, if you've never watched this before, that's one of my things. Eat whole real food. If it came from the earth, if it was once alive, it's probably okay to eat, right? If it wasn't, don't eat it. I mean, as simple as that sounds, right? Like it's true, but I can't give you one thing to just like thrive. Well, you could, and it would be beef, right? But most people don't want to eat nothing but strictly beef and go full carnivore. And when I'm talking eating beef, I'm talking about like eating the liver and the heart and stuff like that for all the micronutrients. And, talk to Cody about that.
Yeah.
No joke. Cody here at the gym, like I eat beef liver. Like Tara gets grossed out by it, but like I'll buy beef liver and like I'll fry it in a pan. And I just kind of chop it up and, I'll eat pieces of it, whatever. Or I'll chop it and throw it in like with my ground beef. And like, so you don't really taste it, right? Because it's got a distinct taste and flavor to it. But micronutrient wise, there's a ton of micronutrients in liver, heart, brain, stuff like that. And Cody here at the gym, he fucks with all that. Like, no joke. Like Cody's like, where I get some beef heart? I'm like, you know what, dude? I do. And like people like come, like people in class will be like, is this guy fucking serious? But no, he does, dude. Like Cody is that guy who eats for micronutrients, and he looks like it, right? Like Cody's put together, big, strong, country-looking boy, right? And he eats like beef heart, he eats beef liver, he's eating any type of vegetable you can think of that's got high micronutrients. He's eating, fish. He's eating beets. He's eating like all these things that are notorious for having high micronutrient counts. He's doing it, and it shows, and it shows. But overall, like the one magical food I can give somebody, I don't have one for you. eat whole real food, and pick the stuff that's high in micros, and you're probably going to be good, man.
Move around.
Yeah, move around. Again, and people want to complicate things more than they need to, and they want to see the change in things faster than what they think they should, right? And that's for multiple reasons, right? It's people are impatient by nature, and they're even more impatient when they're on Instagram.
Yeah.
Because you see, well, here's transformation pictures from Johnny who lost 50 pounds or whatever it is. Well, you didn't see that whole journey of Johnny. You saw pictures one day of the before, and then you saw pictures the next day, the after. Those could have been 8 months, a year apart, right? If you're doing it a healthy way, it's going to take a little bit of time. But everybody wants, well, I want to lose 20 pounds next month so I can go to, the beach and, flaunt myself in a bikini or whatever you want to do with it. And it's like, I get it. This is what you want, but start your journey a little bit sooner than if you have that end date.
Right.
Like just know it's going to take some time, and if you're going to do it in a smart, healthy way. All right. You going to wear that bikini?
I mean, I want to lose 20 pounds and wear that bikini this summer, but I guess you're telling me it's not going to happen.
I mean, it'd be probably towards the end of summer, Mike. We can get you in the bikini. Yeah, right. We could do it. Could do it. I feel pretty confident about it.
Well, all right.
Yeah, especially if we get you in those new running shoes and we get you running a little bit more.
Oh, yeah.
I can see you in the running shoes in the bikini.
Yeah.
Yeah, jogging down the beach.
Cast iron calendar.
Coming soon. We got a full 12-month of Mike on the beach in a bikini.
Here comes Mr. April.
Yeah. Oh, God. Please no. Yeah, so back to kind of what I was saying. Everybody wants that magical, serve it up to me, tee it up. Let me give me the easy stuff. Hey, guys, this is the easy stuff for you, right? This is the super easy stuff. Increase in range of motion, blood flow, eat healthy, whole, real foods, do the little things like stretching, prioritize your sleep. Sleep is, I was talking to a new nutrition client that I have the other day, and she has notoriously been a poor sleeper for years. And a lot of it has to do with schedule. A lot of it has to do with diet, and we're kind of working things out. She had her first check-in with me this past week. And she's been doing this stuff and changed some of her nutrition stuff, and she's been going, and she was perfect. She was that perfect client for her first 2 weeks.
She listened?
She listened to everything and did it right. So the first thing I was talking to her about is all right, how you feeling? I'm feeling great. All right, how's your sleep? She almost doubled the amount of sleep that she was getting in a night, right? Because she was notorious for getting 3 hours of sleep. And now she's sleeping 6. And all of a sudden she's like, I feel so good. It's not, I mean, it's hard, but it's not that hard. But we changed the food she was eating, trying to get her moving a little bit more. And all of a sudden, it's like magic. Yeah. It's magic.
Hardest thing has got to be the discipline.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Which really isn't that hard either. It's just,
Yeah, it is and it's not.
Yeah.
Right? It is and it's not. You get, on the discipline side of things, it's a matter of building momentum. And I know I've said that before, right? Once you get that ball rolling downhill, it only speeds up and gets better and easier. So I was kind of referring to the nutrition side of things, with building momentum, right? And you eat good, you start to feel a little bit better and things start to steamroll. That kind of goes with everything, right? From the, let's say, stretching standpoint, when you first start to stretch, and if you're somebody who's really tight, you're this is uncomfortable, I don't like this. Or even when you first start working out, you're everything's sore, right? Everything's sore. But the more you do it, your push-ups today, right? The easier they get, the more momentum you build, and it's exactly that. It gets easier. It becomes almost second nature with a lot of these things, right? And it's crazy how fast you can gain that momentum. Especially if you're doing it from all angles and doing everything right. Like I said, my nutrition client that I was just talking about, she doesn't exercise. She was referred to me by somebody else who works out here and does nutrition stuff with me. So I said, I want you to just start walking, 3 10-minute walks. And that was the only area where she didn't have everything dialed in, but she was at least doing 1 walk a day. So it's more than she has been.
Yeah.
She changed the food that she was eating. We added in more water. We added in a little bit more salt in her diet because she needed that. And then in turn, that stuff kind of helped her sleep a little bit more. And then everything just kind of started to build up and steamroll. So after those first 2 weeks, I said, you know, how are you feeling? She's, great. I feel great. Awesome. And she's somebody who's tried keto. She's tried this. She's tried that. And nothing was working, right? And it's funny just how you get a little bit of everything to build momentum in one direction, and all of a sudden you feel good. So what I'm saying, guys, is I got the magic formula. Yeah. So, you know, when people are doing this stuff and they're first starting out, again, you don't have to go hog wild with it, right? I don't need to, like, again, I don't need to just sit in yoga poses for an hour. Even if it's like with the nutrition side of things, and I know I've said this before, even if you just focus on, hey, I'm going to make one meal really good today. You know, if you're somebody who, let's say you're on the shitty end of things, right? And you're getting Starbucks, Frappa Mocha, whatever's in the morning that are 1,000 calories of sugar and crap. And then you're having, you know, a little yum from Starbucks for your breakfast to go with it. And then, you know, say you get, you know, let's say on the better end of fast food for lunch, you go to Chipotle, and then for dinner, you just stop at the drive-thru. Right? I mean, it's for real. That's the way a lot of people are eating these days, right? So let's say we started with square one, and you woke up in the morning, you brewed some coffee at home, you didn't put a ton of shit in it, and maybe you had a piece of fruit and a couple hard-boiled eggs in the morning, right? Or I'm just throwing out things that are whole real foods, right? Because most people tell me they don't want to spend the time cooking breakfast in the morning. Okay, I just gave you something that's super easy to grab and go. If you just change that one meal, it would probably like shed so much light on like, holy crap, I feel so much better just by waking up and doing these couple things different, that it would start to give you that momentum to want to change the other stuff. You know, it's if you can't switch it all at once, one step at a time, right? But I know that kind of contradicts what I said last week, because I know a lot of people need that slap in the face, do a complete 180, change everything you do, you asshole, and let's get it dialed in. But for a lot of people I know too, and it goes to based on the person, you may just need to take it baby steps. Yeah. And a lot of times those baby steps are going to make you realize, like, shit, maybe I do need to do that full 180, you know? So if you are doing everything wrong right now, or if you've got a lot of stuff stacked against you right now, start small if you need to. If you don't feel like you can jump in the pool, you know, just go dive in the deep end, hey, step into that shallow end. Do something small. I don't know, man. I think a lot of people build things up in their head too to make things harder than what they need to be, right? And it's you know, with everything that I've thrown out, is anything that I've thrown out there today hard? No. But for a lot of people I know, I mention any of these things. Pick one, you know, a 10-minute walk, 3 10-minute walks. The first thing that you hear is, well, I can't, you know.
Or you just get stuck in your head.
Right.
I mean, I could relate to that. I was thinking about not just, you know, fitness and stuff, but like when I used to, specifically when I was relating running and how my kind of brain block would happen of not running, you know, before these 2 weeks, and kind of just getting stuck at, you know, you're frozen on the couch and you're just thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it. And I was relating it to how I'm feeling about, you know, taking my DJ equipment out and having to load up the car and do it. And I'm like, well, I know if I had an actual gig and I had to do it, I would just do it.
Right.
But thinking about having to do it right now kind of makes me go, oh, you know, and I was in my head, I was just relating it to fitness, you know, and running, and how these past 2 Sundays I did it with pain, you know, and before that it used to be even easier. So,
but you had a reason to do it. You had the accountability, right?
Exactly.
So, and that's a different thing. You had a DJ gig before. The accountability is, I got to show up and do my shit to get fucking paid.
Exactly.
And it's the same thing now. You're accountable, right? Everybody that's watching this is going to look for your ass on Instagram running your fucking 6 miles. Because if not, somebody's going to talk some shit and be like, hey, you little bitch.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Right? And that's 100% it. Like being accountable.
It's, so having that is helpful. And, but I think it's easy to get stuck in your head and not, give yourself excuses. Well, maybe I'll do it next week. Well, like, that's what would happen. You know, it's like,
and I think everybody does that to a point. I know I do. I know 100% that I do. Well, I could cut my run to 3 miles today, or I can just do this, or I could, throttle back here or whatever. But I know for me personally, like with where I'm at, I have guilt. I have a ton of guilt when I don't. And I think that's what keeps me kind of on track with where I want to be, what I want to do, right? Like, because I'm that one, like, I will beat myself up mentally if I don't do what I say I'm going to do. Like, and that's me, like, as a person. Like, that, too, like, with, working with me and stuff. Is like, if I tell me to do something, I'm going to fucking do it. Mm-hmm. Like, that's just who I am. Like, if I don't think I can do it, I'm not going to tell you I can. You know what I mean? Right. I'm like, I don't know about that.
No, maybe.
Yeah.
I'll think about it.
Yeah. But if I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it, and that's something like, and I do that with myself. Like if I tell myself like, okay, tomorrow's going to be like an 8 to 10 mile run for me. Mm-hmm. If I cut that run at 7 miles, I'm going to be really upset with myself. Right. Like to the point where it's like, that shit will eat at me. So whether it's somebody else holding you accountable or yourself, you've got to find that, right? You've got to find that reason to get it done. Like for you, you've got the Instagram world watching you right now on your runs.
Yeah.
Right? Millions.
Nobody's watching me.
The millions and millions. There's one person like, oh, that fucking Mike guy didn't run today. I'm going to go get some McDonald's.
I'm going to run 2 McDonald's. Watch out, Instagram. We're hitting every fast food.
Oh, the fast food Tour de France.
Imagine? Oh, that would be such a stomach ache.
Dude.
Run, eat like a burger, eat like a burger.
So AJ and I always talked about the double down where we'd work out hella hard, right? And we'd usually go, and Rachel would go with us sometimes too. There used to be a Mediterranean restaurant here in town called Casbah.
Okay.
And they were phenomenal. Like they had like the shaved gyros with vegetable platter, side of baba ganoush and hummus, and like just crush it. Like Dalton loved it too when he was little. It's awesome stuff. So AJ and I would go there. A couple times we'd go like put down like 30 wings over at Wingstop, like just getting down on food, right? Or we go, just different places. And we always talk, okay, one day we're going to do a double down where we go and eat at one of these places, give ourselves like half an hour, and then go try and eat at another place with the same amount of food that we'd normally eat. It was like the Fat Man Challenge.
Well, like last night, even though I felt, bloated or whatever, I told Monty, I was like, I'm hungry. I was like, I'm still hungry. I was like, I want to eat something else.
Oh, speaking of food, I ate a whole pizza yesterday.
That's what I was craving last night.
Bro, and it wasn't huge, right?
Yeah.
It was like... So it's this place called Zachary's in San Ramon.
I love Zachary.
Yeah. So Zachary's is one of the best gluten-free pizzas I've ever had. The crust on it's like real crust, good chew to it, just phenomenal. So I got one for me, for Dalton, for Tara, and I picked one up for Rachel too. Rachel's the one who's recommended this place to us and like let us in on the secret. She kept it from us for a while, that asshole.
Still mad at her.
Yeah, I kind of am, dude. Like, I'm kind of hold a grudge.
She's like, hey, I just
kiss my ass, Rach. You should have shared this shit with me. Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I put it down, though, man. I ate this gluten-free pizza, but it's one of those, like, I had planned on having a cheat. Like, like, this is what I'm going to do, whatever. But what's cool, like, with this place is good, solid quality ingredients. Still... way more calories, way more food than I normally eat. But I ate this whole pizza. I didn't feel that bad after. Like, I was full, but it was like one of those, like, where, I'm sure you've had this, like, you eat pizza or whatever, and you're like, oh God. Like, I feel like trash.
That's what I'm craving right now.
Oh, you want that trash feeling?
I want that trash feeling.
Don't do it today, Mike. Please don't do it today because that run tomorrow will be an absolute shit show.
Yeah, my back's not gonna like that.
No, neither is your stomach. You're gonna be running for a bathroom. Yeah. So I don't know how we got on me eating a whole pizza, but it was delicious. It was delicious. I was pretty happy about it, actually. I was, it was one of those, like, I knew, like, a plan for it, whatever, like, and it was just like it was worth the reward of it, So, and I don't want you guys to think this is something that I do very often because it's not. Like a Zachary's trip for me is probably once every 3 or 4 months, right? My wife and kid will finally break me down and be like, "Can we have pizza?" I'm like, you guys ask me every other day. So anyways, yeah, it was delicious, man. It was delicious. I liked it. Good. Yeah. What else? I think that's all I got, man.
Yeah.
I think that's all I got. I think I've thrown enough stuff out there at these people. Like I said, I'm not throwing anything crazy at you guys today.
Yeah.
But it's just some things to think about, like things to do to help you as you progress in life, as you start to get a little bit older. And, I've heard for years, people have always thrown shit at me like, well, just wait till you get to 30, right? And you're usually going to, you're going to have this and this and this. And then it was wait till you get to 35, wait till you get to 40. Guys, I'm still waiting. And what I mean by that, I'm not trying to be a smart ass. I'm not trying to sound cocky, but if you take the time to do things that you're supposed to do, you can fight some of this stuff.
I guess that's kind of how I've been feeling now. Like, okay, I'm 36, and I'm thinking about the stuff I was doing in my 20s, and I'm like, I'm kicking my 20s ass. Mm-hmm. There's a little bit of more pain there, but there's no way that I'm overall blowing myself out of the water. So, and then I have my eye on I still have my eye on PRs of different things.
Yeah.
Saying I'm still headed towards that. There's nothing that I feel is holding me back. There's no barrier, except for me,
Yeah.
Well, so it's definitely not the 36 thing, I mean, my mile, I came in at 7:32 the other day, so I'm happy with where I'm at and where I'm headed.
Where you're headed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I could relate to that for sure. But I definitely do feel, I'm like, man, 36, I'm gray, but
What are you going to talk about? Like, we're going to talk about the gray. You notice I got a hat on, right?
Over here, it's just like different shade. I'm like, is it the light?
No. It's tips.
It's just
bleach.
I just frosted my, my hair.
Just on that one spot on the side.
Like a 1998 bag.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. You look like you remember NSYNC, that lost member.
Bye.
Yeah. No, man, and that's something too. I look at stuff the same way, Mikey. Like, I'm going to be 44, right? And I look at where I was when I was 24 or 26, like mid-20s. And, like, right now, I am in way better shape physically than I was at that time. And I may not be as strong on a barbell, right? But I'm, I was probably between 28 and 30 years old. I was probably 230 to 240 pounds, right? And like I looked puffy, you know what I mean? But like had decent size to me too because I didn't, I was lifting a lot. Like walking up a flight of stairs, I got tired, but I'm okay with giving up some of the strength from that to be a more fit human being, and be in a better place physically. But I still, what's funny about that though is I still look at numbers. I still remember all my lifts from any year ever. You know what I mean? And I still look at numbers that I would hit when I was 60 pounds heavier. And I still go, I won't fucking beat that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's still, you still have that challenge.
Can't help it. Yeah.
Yeah. At 44. You know what I mean? Like, what's funny is that I'm way faster now. I'm stronger now. It's not stronger now, but like overall stronger physically. Can move my body in way more better ways. Like you talk about like decreased range of motion and limited range of motion. Like I was worse 20 years ago than I am now, but it's one of those things where I still have that drive to be better. Yeah. And it's like my birthday workout every year. If you guys don't know, I pick something hard to do every year on my birthday. That's just gonna, people are like, oh, you're crazy. Why are you doing that? And like, for me, it's a celebration. It's a celebration that my body is capable of doing what I'm asking it to do. Mm-hmm. Whether it's going out and running 30 miles or whether it's doing like I've done some vicious birthday workouts over the last few years in the gym where I'm setting up different reps. Usually the number of reps are in relation to my age that year. And then I'll do rounds of that. And then there's, it gets gross. I mean, it gets really, really gross. But for me, it's not one of those like, oh, I want to beat myself in the ground. It's like, I'm celebrating what I can do. And I want to make it harder than I did the year before somehow. And it's
you're cashing in on the buildup.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's my, my goal every year. And I've said this a few times, but my goal each year is to be better than I was the year before. And fight it, So,
yeah. I think what appeals to me is being able to always have agility.
Yeah.
The strength will come, it's never, I like it because it's never been in my 20s, nothing, I've been a twig. So I like that I'm able to do strong stuff, but I think if I ever lost my agility, I would be very sad.
Just get nimble like a cat.
I would be really,
be pissed.
really pissed.
Yeah.
And just angry,
Yeah.
But, so that's why running is important to me. I always want that spring in my step and be able to move, fairly quickly.
Yeah.
I think that's my number one thing that I'd like to keep
on keeping on.
That's right.
Yeah. Right on, man. Right on. Well, good episode, Mike.
All right.
Way better without Rachel. Way better. Go on Apple Podcasts, YouTube,
Spotify
now. Mm-hmm. Spotify user.
Yep.
Give us a like, give us a review, give us a share, all that good stuff, guys. Thanks for watching today. Instagram,
Twitter.
Stop it.
We're on Twitter now.
Yeah. That's not my doing, but we have a Twitter now.
It's my job, guys.
we have a tweet.
Hashtag cast iron workout.
We have a tweet machine, so that's cool. Check us out on all those platforms, Facebook. Share us with the world, all that good stuff. You guys want to do us a solid, give us a review, give us some likes and all that good stuff. Anyways, hope you guys are doing well. Check out my book, Whatever It Takes. It's on Amazon. What else, Mikey? Anything?
That's a wrap.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys soon.